of years, they have been answering, and the answer is yes, they do.
All right.
So it is used as part of their formulas and calculations of what's going on today, which is really a major breakthrough. So in many ways, what we call modern science is really something very old, and we're just trying to catch up to ancient wisdom.
Now, I'm agreeing with that. It's interesting you're saying that national organizations are looking back and actually giving credibility to the ancient texts, which I think can do nothing but bring wisdom to their system. I think forever it's saying that those were dismissed as Mayans or anyone else as just ignorant, superstitious civilizations. But now maybe they're giving some credibility to them. And let me go to the question we have here for you, Mitch. In western Massachusetts, there was this storm, and some have blamed it on microbursts. Are you aware of that?
Oh, sure, yeah. Now, I'm one of the very few who brought that forward, and that's evidenced in my book. Actually, I have two books now, but sure, I write quite a bit about that in Solar Rain, and broadcasted that since, I don't know, probably 2002. Nobody really heard of these terms before. They just kind of grouped everything and called it a tornado, because it has similar causal effects. But often what they are just that. There's microbursts, straight line winds, and wind shears. And they all resemble, at least the outcome resembles something that a tornado might do. But there's no funnel. And so that's what's occurring. And what happens, especially during solar maximum, is the solar flares or coronal mass ejections come and they hit the Earth's magnetic field. When the Earth's magnetic field warps around to protect the Earth, kind of like a cocoon, it shifts the jet stream. And when you shift that jet stream, that's when these microbursts occur, straight line winds or wind shears. And we're talking nasty stuff, 300-mile-an-hour winds. So the jet stream, in some cases, dips down is what happens, and it can really cause havoc. And of course, it has again everything that might look like a tornado, but people will verify that no, we didn't see any tornado, no, there was no funnel, no this or that, but our buildings are gone.
Duh. Hey, by the way, why don't we just clarify that term too? Microburst. Is that a microburst of weather?
No, it's a microburst of wind.
Of wind. Okay. So
it's microburst is it could rain, water could be involved, but it has a circular peripheral to it. In other words, it's not rotating, but it's let's just say it's I don't know, it could be a half a mile in width, something like that.
All right.
And it comes directly straight down, like a burst.
Okay.
And it could cover as small as a couple of blocks, or maybe a one full square mile.
Let me ask you, Mitch, you talk about the coronal mass ejection. What is the longest in miles that's ever been recorded?
You mean speed?
No, isn't it so far from off the sun's surface? How long do these ejections? What's the longest one in miles? Is there a specification for those?
No, they
millions
don't really
of miles.
They don't measure in that way. How I could explain it is when a solar event occurs, and depending on the strength of it, and they're classified as X being the largest, X-class flare, M-class flare, C-class flare. So depending on the strength of the charged particles that are emitted, what we call coronal holes or CMEs, coronal mass ejections, or solar flares. The initial hit, going at the speed of light, can occur, again, depending on the strength of the event, could happen within 8 minutes. But I mean, our instruments can pick it up, but there's really no damage at that point. The base of the thrust that comes, if you can imagine a wave that follows kind of this initial kind of spear, if you will.
All right.
That takes about 24 hours.
Okay.
And it usually hits within 24 to 48 hours. So we'll say, boom, an M-class flare has occurred,
Yeah.
and then within the 24 to 48 hours, that's when you'll see the extreme weather events.
Okay, and what would be the speed of that? 24 hours from here to the sun, what is that speed?
The speed of light.
Speed of light. These ejections are going the speed of light.
Travels at the speed of light.
Wow, that's fast. I tell you what, why don't we ask you this question that came in on the Fast Blast for you, Mitch. Now, this is a fairly deep one, so if I've got to read it twice, I'll read it twice. Here you go. Mitch, do you believe that sun rays supply information that the Earth uses to make reality manifest?
Well, I think that's an Edgar Cayce kind of thing. Edgar Cayce believes that it's our emotions that actually cause the sun
Really?
to erupt of its calmness or its activity. There's, I'll keep an open mind, but you're not going to find any scientific discipline that's going to support that.
Okay.
I see it as the other way around.
Speaking of
the sun has an effect on us.
Okay. All right. Speaking of scientific experts, what do you think about Al Gore's movie on global warming?
It's pathetic. It's a joke. It's sick.
Whoa.
Things are coming out every day as we're finding more information about it. And matter of fact, I think the founder of the Weather Channel is suing him for libel. For basically lying to everybody. His science is way off. It's nothing more than conjecture.
So you're saying he has coronal lie ejections out of his mouth every time he talks?
Well,
lying ejections?
I wouldn't use those words, but I believe he believes. He's a very passionate man. I voted for him, and so I do want to discern the difference between him as a politician and then he just got this bug about this. He happened to be here's what happened. He happened to be in the 1988 Senate hearing. He was a senator at the time when James Hansen pulled it right out of his rectum. Tossed out these two words called global warming. That is when global warming was created. It's nothing more than a person making up a name. They say, hey, let's call it global warming. And, of course, Hansen's been taken to task on all his formulas, which were nothing more than computer analysis, by the way. His computer charts and conjectures. It's just ridiculous. It's been ripped apart. But nonetheless, Al Gore was there, and he just really wrapped himself up in it, and I'm sure he's a very passionate man. I think he believes that that's what's going on. I don't think he, such as the Bush administration, I don't think he is consciously manipulating the public.
No, he would never do that. No, he's a politician. He would never try to mislead anybody for personal gain or any other thing. But let me ask you though, in one of the movies of global catastrophe, weather related, I forgot the name of it, maybe the end of the world or something. But they projected it's sort of the antithesis of global warming. It said that there's actually going to be global cooling. What do you think about that? Is that more in line to believe than global warming?
Well, actually, you're thinking of the day after tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Some kind of thing.
Any truth in there?
But another joke. It's Hollywood. It's nothing but Hollywood.
Okay.
And no, it's not going to be anything like the movie showed. We're going to see a gradual escalation of earth-changing events. Now, that is true. We are going to see an escalation of earthquakes and volcanoes and hurricanes and so forth as we go forward into cycle 24, which its apex happens to be at 2012, the same time as the Mayan calendar. So yes, there is, and the geological finds and studies and so forth, and coupled with ancient wisdom and the language that had been passed down, all correlate saying that the time we're in is a time of extreme change.
Mitch, if you had any time to review any of our guest list, our 5 years worth of guest lists on the Edge, you would see a lot of names that would be